Hello, Chris here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys are doing okay and well. Forgive me for my quarantine look, just disheveled and gone. 2021, we're in for it. But I thought I would do a little video today talking about Axil, 1 year on, and it's about a year ago now that I started my passion project, Axil. And in its simplest form, if you don't know what it is already, Axil is a project I started a year ago that is about me songwriting and basically taking the step to sing in my songs and make music that outreaches into something maybe a bit further than what I did previously, that tries to communicate something, tries to exude some sense of vulnerability, and tries to aim in a sort of sonic direction, I guess, with obviously at the forefront my vocal. And for those of you who don't know me personally, I think it's always been sort of, how do I say, so really sort of an insecurity of mine to sing in my songs and to sing in my music. And Axil was sort of a fight back to try and figure out a way, the best I could, to just sing in my music and be confident and to communicate the way I thought I needed to. So obviously it wasn't easy to just sort of begin this project. I really have a lot to owe to my really lovely close friends for really helping me and like really guiding me in terms of with things musically and production wise that I really needed to catch up to in terms of the quality and in terms of the direction I guess I wanted to try and head in. And so yeah, thanks to lovely people around me and sort of this drive and this progression, I really figured out early last year sort of what I wanted to try and achieve with Axil. And in mid-2020 I released 2 singles, Move On and Rate It, and they went really well. I got a lot of nice attention from various sources. They got a lot of plays, and it just really overall was just a really solid experience for me to produce professionally, commercially, and to sing and to just put music out into the world. But as with everything, guys, and I'm sure you guys can relate, when you do something, when you make something, in hindsight it's always 2020, and you realize, oh okay, there are things I could have improved on, there are things I can do better next time. And obviously almost as soon as those tracks are out, especially in the case with music, when you sit on them for so long and you sort of assess and reanalyze over time, you realize sort of how the process could maybe have been improved or what sort of things could have gone a little bit easier. And for me, I just realized that there were a few things production wise that I really wanted to improve on. First off was microphones. This mic in particular, which is a really good mic, the Aston Spirit mic. I really recommend it. This was an immediate purchase for me after I released those 2 songs, because I realized that the versatility, the transparency of my vocal wasn't fully coming through with my music, and so I felt that a more honest, transparent vocal microphone would really help me, and this microphone has really helped me in the past few months. As well as that, there were other like massive production discrepancies that I needed to change. I needed to become better at mixing. I needed to improve that, top that even better by using saturation tools, by using imaging, stereo width, and I really felt like sort of also taking more of a pride in my own mixes and sort of the way I mix specifically as an artist. Felt like a really comfortable and honest step in trying kind of marking my own style of mixing. And over the last few months I've really come into my own with that, I feel like, and really started to create a signature sound in the mix of the track. And if you don't know what the mix of a track is, it's essentially when you've done all the recording, you've done all the sort of creative stuff, but now you just need to put all the blocks together in a way that sounds professional, clean, but also unique. So for example, maybe a band comes together to create a song. There's all the guitarists, the singers, the bassists, the drums, but everything sounds a bit disheveled and just put in there, kind of like my quarantine look. But ultimately, if you're going to put it out, you need to mix it. You need to put everything together so that it fits and that it sounds clean and good. So that is something I've really honed in on in the last year, and Axil has really helped me with that. And as well as that, I think on a more emotional level, I think just singing and being vulnerable and finding the sort of progression of type of music and style of music and way of communicating, I think is important, and is something I've learned since those last two tracks. I think it's hard to say, because I think music is so subjective, right? And it's so unique in terms of who and what digests certain things. And I think you get some realms where creators seem to really enjoy things being very intellectual, and very sort of catered in terms of, if it's not understood by the masses, then it actually is better. But then you also have this other side where people who just want to understand and relate to your music just really can appreciate it, and that's something that I really value in trying to reach out for understanding. But then maybe sometimes you can lose a bit of personability and identity within music. So for me, I think trying to find that balance has been a very big struggle, but also a very interesting sort of venture for me in communicating how I feel in a way through music that is honest and beautiful and true, I guess. So it's not easy. It definitely isn't an easy thing. And then combining that with the technicalities of trying to maintain sort of a professionalism and a consistency is really difficult. And on this old computer that I'm using, which just doesn't want to seem to want to stay afloat most of the time, it is difficult, let me tell you that. But yeah, I it's been a process, and it's been really fun to sort of realize coming into this year. But of course, at the end of last year, I faced a lot of personal challenges, and going into this year, I'm still sort of catching up with them, and sort of again figuring out a way to translate that through music, especially when there's not so much of an influx of new experiences, new material in life to sort of talk about, is also a difficulty. I don't know if you guys can relate, but well, I'm sure you guys really can, in terms of, lockdown, quarantine. There hasn't been a massive stimuli of new things. So a lot of the time we're referencing old material, especially in music, and as a musician, and as someone who I guess can only create honestly when you're referring to what you've experienced. When there are less experiences that you've had, then you find yourself kind of looking back over old things, with things maybe that you've covered already, or things that have had an ending, or things that maybe just are feeling more distant. And so that's also a big sort of struggle that I've had lately, is that at what point do you stop talking about things after you've covered them? At what point do you sort of leave them? Especially at a time when that's really all you can talk about. Does it become more philosophical? Does it become further away? But then also, do you lose a bit of that personalism? It's a big question. And so that has been really a massive theme for this new sort of brand of music that I am creating. And sort of that segues into pretty well into this new sort of stuff that I've been working on. And this new stuff is different, for sure. It's different to the Axil that perhaps I released earlier. But it's something that I really growing to love, and I think that's a really, really positive impact of sort of what incorporating what I've learned from the previous year, is that I think I immediately liked the stuff I made last year, and I still like it, but I think with this music I'm growing to love it over time, and I think that's something I can't really say for the previous tracks, and I think giving myself the space and giving the time to learn to love my music and to learn to love the process of my music is something that I really am valuing, for sure. And I think that's the emotional way the biggest take, I guess, in terms of producing and being vulnerable and making your own songs. You need to learn to love what you do, not just like it from the get-go, because then learning to love the material makes it all the more meaningful, and I feel that definitely to my core now. So yeah, anyway, I really appreciate you guys for supporting me in everything I make and everything I do, just even this occasional comments and the occasional likes and stuff. It just really means a lot to me. So everything's in the description if you want to check it out again. Move On, Rate It will be there. My SoundCloud, where I upload like little taster tunes, and obviously on here on my YouTube, I do that as well. And after this little clip, I'll release a little snippet of a track that will be part of the EP. It's called Far Away, and it's this is again a really rough demo, but I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, peace out and stay safe. See you later.